a martial arts movie podcast.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Featuring drunken Thai boxer Will.
Too bad you will die.
The also drunken wrestler Mark.
I said I don't want trouble.
And drunken karate master Zero.
You've lost your balls.
And now,
Talk. I know Kung Fu. You know, baby.
Fists of Fail.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about Project A Part 1 at all for this review, right? Yeah, I don't think it's not necessary at all, right?
I kind of forgot the movie, so I don't think we need to.
Okay.
Yeah, this movie is so jam-packed full of information, characters, sets, storylines that I'm having trouble keeping it all in my brain. I don't know if I could even reference Project A1 at all.
Yeah.
At this point, besides the fact that this movie technically takes place right after Project A1 leaves, because the opening with the pirates, those are the ones that get defeated by Jackie, Sammo, and Yunbyo at the end.
Yeah. My God, like that loose connection to Project A1 or Project A, sorry. There's no one in that. The loose connection there is not really needed. It kind of is like a plot plot E in this movie. There's just so many subplots that going on, or too many things going on, that I felt like those characters were not necessary, the ones that you just mentioned, because when the movie starts off, it's just boom, like it seems like it's gonna, you need to have watched the first movie, and it's not the case at all. Instead, be prepared for a whole bunch of, yeah, like you said, bombardment of information at all times. So yeah, Project A Part 2. This is yet again directed by Jackie. But we do not have Yunbyo and Sammo returning from their previous roles, because they were too busy working on Eastern Condors. So guys, go watch that instead. Yeah, we're coming in hot, right? Because
a little bit, yeah.
I mean, yeah, Project A2, they're one of the more well-known movies in Jackie's category. I mean, prime 80s Jackie. You really shouldn't, or you're not supposed to say anything bad about them. But there's a reason I just generally don't like to revisit this movie. I just never found it interesting. This is a very bland film. There's nothing memorable about it besides maybe a few moments.
Don't think I would say there's nothing memorable about it. I think there's just so much going on in here that a lot of the really memorable things, which is, generally mainly in the action, I think it gets overshadowed by the fact that you are trying to pay attention to so many characters and so many storylines that by the time you get to the end, you're just like, okay, that's it. Cool. Okay, fine. And then your brain is just like, blah. Because that's how I felt after watching tonight. I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get the story. There's cool moments in here, as Jackie Chan always directs really great action. Even on his off days, Jackie Chan could direct a very well placed fight scene. But by the end of it, I kind of forgot everything. Even though I just watched it, I almost kind of forgot everything in this movie.
Yeah, well, I'd say there are great moments as you're watching it, but in terms of how it sticks to you, how it is, because I guess that's the definition of something being memorable. There isn't a lot to it. There's not a lot of iconic moments from this movie. Say what you will about like Project A1. I mean, that him falling from a clock tower, like that's probably, it sticks out in my head very vividly, and I remember that so well. This is not a mark against Jackie. I mean, because he can literally shit gold when it comes to making good action. Like pretty much everything he makes is, to some degree, like it has an air of creativity in it, and that's what this movie still has. But in terms of overall movie experience and having things that really resonate and it does stay with you, I still don't think of a lot of moments. For example, I think the sign falling on him at the end, like, is very inspired by Buster Keaton, obviously, but that's really it. Like I can't think of any other iconic visual imagery in my head that from this movie alone.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that sentiment, and we'll just keep on going around in circles if
Yeah,
we just keep on kind of saying this same thing over and over again. Yeah, it's not
sure.
memorable as a whole. Yeah, we get it.
Mhm.
And I think a lot I would think that a lot of people probably would share similar sentiments because Jackie Chan fans, they're action fans, right?
Mhm.
I think they tolerate a story so that it could just lead up to action. I think that's how a lot of action fans are. I want good story and I want good characters so that I could really get invested in action, even though I still appreciate good action in a bad story. But this is an over manufactured plot. So Will,
No, no,
what's this movie about?
no. Holy shit. We might have to take turns. I might have to tag you in at times because there's so much happening. Because there's so much going on, and I think
Yeah,
I might be missing some
we could
details. Okay,
generalize it because we don't want to
okay.
spoil things as well. So
Was there a spoil? But whatever. Okay, I'll try my best. David Lamb is the villain. He is I think a chief or a police chief, and he's suspected of being corrupt. So Jackie is being recruited to come in to determine if that is so. Just kind of keep tabs on him.
really, I didn't.
Because
I didn't.
wait, did you not get that?
I didn't think of it like that. I thought it was more so that they suspect David Lamb of possible corruption because he kind of keeps staging his
Yep.
arrests. And
Mhm,
so they can't just sack him because he is in charge of 3 districts. So what
mhm.
they do is they decide to have somebody take over one of the districts in order to kind of slowly take away power from him. And because Jackie Chan
Whoa.
was recently
I lost that.
successful
That
in
was so much already.
he was recently successful in Project A1, they decide to promote him up and take over one of the
Okay.
districts in David Lamb's place. And from
Sure.
there,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it kind of starts the ball rolling with David Lamb, like oh, what's going on? Like like I can see they're trying to maybe push me out.
Right. Right. So David Lamb obviously gets very butthurt or very jealous and then his subordinates become a lot more. Uh, uh, they follow Jackie. So then David Lamb is somehow getting his conspires against Jackie. That becomes later in the movie. Meanwhile, there's this whole plot with Maggie Chung, who's also in the movie,
Hmm.
and also Rosamund Kwan.
Yep.
And I vaguely understood, right? So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it has something to do with some sort of artifact that they're trying to get a hold of to steal back from white man. I don't.
What?
Yes, yes.
Did I miss that? Oh my god. Are
This
we
plot is so
Are we
confusing.
unable to piece together a plot between the two of us? I don't remember
Right.
the artifact thing at all. I thought that Maggie Chung and Rosamund Kwan's character were there because they were technically rebels against like the
Mhm.
Manchu government.
Mhm.
But then
Right, but
I don't
then
remember the artifact.
well, this is all taking place in the stealing of the artifact was taking place in the estate of the the ballroom scene essentially, right? That's where that is, and there's the the head of the estate is the white performer, the white actor.
Hmm.
Um, I think that was the whole point of that whole entire scene was just to go get that artifact. This is where like this just because by the time this is happening, I'm very much I haven't checked out yet, but I'm definitely getting lost.
Yeah, I
And
mean
I've seen this movie a couple times, and every time we get here, I'm like, what am I missing? Like, why am I so lost every time I watch this part of the movie?
no, it's the same listeners and or viewers. Yeah, this is us like desperately trying to
This,
figure out
this is
this movie.
abstract art, all right? You can
Yeah.
interpret the movie however you like. Uh,
Okay, so yes,
so
they're trying to get back an artifact, and what else, Will?
oh God. Well, that's like plot C, right? Meanwhile, there's also the loose connection to the original movie with the bandits or the
Pirates.
pirates,
Mhm.
who are also trying to kill Jackie. But they're not. They're kind of like comic relief for a bit of the movie. Oh, well, for some of the movie, right, they're a little bit playing the buffoonish characters, and towards the end, they kind of turn sides. It's not too much of a spoiler. The movie's all over the place when regards to that.
Yeah, so the
Um,
pirate characters are introduced, but they're very much in the background. They kind of keep popping up because their plan is they want to get revenge on Jackie Chan because
mhm.
he defeated them. And
Yeah.
so they're just
Hmm.
kind of in the background. And a lot of these things kind of keep on happening back and forth. You have the plot with Jackie
Yep.
and him trying to take control over the corruption that has happened under David Lamb's watch. Then you
Hmm.
have the pirates in the background plotting their revenge. And then you have Maggie Chung and Rosamund Kwan who are trying to work together or somehow work together because I think they're rebels against like the
Yeah.
Manchu government.
Hmm.
And what happens is you're just kind of following these stories as they kind of keep on going back and forth until eventually where they write it where everybody kind of converges and all the characters are in the same spot at the same time. And it
Right.
technically works. It technically
Hmm.
works, I would say, but I
The
I
journey.
just don't like any of it.
Well,
I don't
no,
like the journey to get there. Sure. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. I actually say it doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, if you're competent enough, you can make any sort of like parallel storylines eventually converge, right? I mean, you kind of have to, otherwise, it's going to be disjointed. For the longest time, the movie does. It just feels super disjointed because of that.
Hmm.
And then at the end, like they have to somehow tie it in so all the characters kind of meet somehow. But the way that they do it is so strange and so unnatural. Like the way the pirate characters are written into kind of assist Jackie at the end. That just kind of robs us of a proper ending to a fight scene. And that's how we kind of converge everything. This movie is written in such a sloppy manner. Um, but I guess there's a little bit of levity to it because it some of it culminates the fact that there's so many things going on and you know every character because there's so many characters with hidden allegiances and hidden motives. It all converges into this one really elongated comedy scene in the apartment, right?
Yeah.
Because there's Bill Tung is there to do so and so, but he's also there to watch Jackie. But then also at the same time, there's a woman who was kidnapped, who's all who's there, but she like everyone's trying to hide their presence so that they're all not all found out. And it's just like once they're like stockpiling more and more characters in that one scene, and it just keeps on building. And I'm like, that's a perfect metaphor for the movie. I'm like, my God, I get it. This is a mess. Like it's a mess of a premise, and it's supposed to be really funny, but all we're doing is just being fed a lot of information, and I'm just waiting for the punchline. It's 23 minutes of that.
Right. I like that scene a lot, actually. That's probably my favorite thing about this movie, oddly
Mm,
enough, that it is a very elongated scene of people trying to hide themselves in the house without others noticing each other because there are so many different allegiances like in that house. And like Maggie Chung has her hands full because she's trying to help certain people and she's trying not to give people away. It's funny.
yeah.
I think this is a great directed comedy scene from Jackie Chan. Like
Mm,
this, he's definitely showing like his influences here. I wouldn't say that this is like a metaphor for the movie because like I don't think this is a mess. I think actually it's really well done and I think it's very charming and funny
mm,
and it all culminates and works in the end for me.
mm.
But I will say I almost feel like this scene didn't need to be in the movie.
No, of course
Like
not.
it could have I get how all the characters meet at the end, but like I almost feel like if you cut this out, maybe you could still get to the end and it would still make sense.
Oh
So that
yeah, of
means
course. Yeah.
we just had this like almost like masturbatory scene that wasn't even necessary. It was just Jackie Chan showing off how well he could do this uh this like hide and
Comedy
seek.
bit?
Yeah, this bit
Yeah.
that he really got inspired by.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so uh, I don't want to I don't want to keep being negative on this movie because I think we could just keep on dogpiling on like a lot of it. Um, I like that scene a lot, and I'm trying to think of things I like about the movie or things I could say positively about the movie, right? So like
Mhm.
story be damned. Like we hate I just don't like this story. Like I think we can agree like we just don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I'm looking at this movie and Jackie Chan still is the writer and director, it's interesting to see him really command a period piece film. If I remove action from this, right? And you just look at this as whatever the setting is, like
Mhm.
um, a long time ago in Hong Kong, because
Sure. Sure.
I could not throw a date at this and be accurate with
Mhm.
it. But he's handling like the costume design, the set design, intricate dance choreography, ballroom dancing choreography. And it's stuff that, as action fans, I think you would not care anything for, right? But if you're
Right.
interested in period piece drama, you could say like, "Oh wow, yeah, this very much looks like it's of the time." And there's a lot of attention to detail that I think action fans could care less about, but other people might notice.
Yeah. I mean, I is someone who doesn't really care so much about like specific dance sequences. I mean, I do think that's pretty impressive. The ballroom scene in general, like the amount of performers that have to just all be in sync, all be in coordination. I do think there's some something that's like inspiring about that, right? But yeah, I'm thinking about what like Golden Harvest spending $20 million on the entire production of all the sets in this movie. And I think like yeah, that shows. It definitely is a very beautiful movie at times, and it's very believable. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm much more story driven.
Yeah.
Kind of like yourself, you know. I like it. I want to root for my characters because like the story drives them forward, and because there isn't much of that, like that's like the only thing I'm really focusing on every time I watch this movie. It's like, come on.
It it there's seeds in place that I feel would make us really root for Jackie Chan because he's going in to this new police precinct, right? He doesn't have the respect of the people there because they're all corrupt. And he
Yeah.
has to win them back, and that's kind of a plot point. And like that's great. You see that he's fighting against the odds and he has to keep on doing these things to get the upper hand and then try and like kind of weed out all the corrupt police officers. Like that's in my mind a more interesting story. And I mean, I guess I can kind of spoil it because it happened so quickly. He just wins over the respect of everybody in like
Like
one,
almost
yeah, like
immediately.
almost immediately. Like after one moment, they're like, ah, we don't want to work with you, and then after the
Mhm.
next, he said they're just like, okay, yes, sir, you know, and then that's
Right.
it. Like there's no more drama there at all.
Hmm.
He fixed that situation, and then now we have to go into the storyline with the rebels, which is it's not interesting because it's the time they had to flesh that out was so minimal because they kept on jumping between different plot points.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, we kind of beat it over we beat it over the head at this point about how disjointed, or just how much of a jumbled mess it is, and you really have to do a lot of whack a mole when it comes to keeping up with the story in this movie. At least I did. I mean, maybe those of you who are listening, maybe you didn't have as much of a difficult time with this movie, but every time I watch this, I always think this could easily be trimmed down to be a lot simpler. um, so yeah, that's just my overall gripe with the viewing experience of it. But I do think, and I'm trying to be positive too, but I do think that this is going to be a backhanded compliment with this movie.
Uh-oh.
It's that this is a stunt heavy movie.
Mm.
It's a stunt heavy movie, but the fact that the fact that Jackie is helming the directing role is made very obvious in this movie. Like the fact that he has so many hands. he doesn't normally have this problem. At least, especially in the last couple episodes we've made. He can do all those things. He's really good at juggling, directing, starring, writing. Here, it really feels very evident that he is not only directing and doing and acting and doing all those things. It feels like he's not able to multitask as well in this movie, right? Because a
Interesting.
lot of
Okay.
times, so he's being doubled, which is not fault of his own. Sometimes maybe like, either he's injured or someone else can do it better, or he's just busy. So that's one thing, but it's just the fact that it's so obvious here makes me feel like, okay, there's that, right? The fact that it seems like he's busier than usual. And a lot, I feel like the stunt work itself, there's quite a lot of stunts in this movie, but I don't feel like a lot of them are super memorable either. I mean, I'd love to call them out when we get to it, but I am like, oh, that was cool. This doesn't make it to any sort of list, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
so
Okay.
yeah, like I don't know, that was my overall feeling as I was watching this. It just is very obvious that Jackie, it's not his A game, right? Which is ironic because it's called Project A.
I agree with you. I don't think this is his A game, but I think that's because this is less fight focused and more
Yeah.
stunt
Hmm.
focused.
Yeah.
And I think
Right,
that's
but the stunts aren't even that great, is what I'm trying to say.
I like the
They're
stunts.
not
I like
bad.
the stunts a lot, but they're
Hmm.
not as memorable to
Hmm.
me. So I think we can just get into the general action at this
Hmm.
point. So
Yeah.
we kind of been touching on it. Fighting wise, fight scene wise, this is a little sparse.
Hmm.
Not that there isn't a lot of fighting, but if you were to kind of take things out of context, you notice that there's like one big fight in like the restaurant or whatever wherever, and then there's just lots of like little fights throughout, and then
Hmm.
he fights the pirates towards the end, and then from there the final action set piece is more of a chase. There's lots of little tiny encounters going on, but it's not really it doesn't chain together as smoothly as his other films. Like there's a lot of moments where there's running, there's a little bit of fighting, and then we have to like run again. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of big empty gaps of nothing happening. Where in other Jackie Chan movies, like when you're at this final set piece, it has this flow to it where it's like, okay,
Right.
fighting, running. And in this one, there's fighting and running away, but then there's long gaps of nothing as well. So
Hmm.
it feels disjointed for me like that.
Yeah, no. Since you mentioned flow, that's a great way of explaining what I couldn't. It's something that was missing for me. Yeah, like everything you just said is true. The the hand-to-hand combat, what there is in this movie, there are very few exchanges, and then we're cutting to something else. I think the restaurant scene is a perfect example of like I said before, Jackie appearing like he has his hands tied. He's too many things. He's juggling too many balls at once because yeah, because Jackie is in this room. We just set up the room right now. It's him and I say 4 or 5 other performers on his side versus a whole like gang of folks in the restaurant, and it cuts to everyone going all at once, right? Cutting to what these guys are doing. Here, cutting to Jackie, and then a few exchanges, and we're cutting back to another exchange somewhere else happening. It's just like constant. It's just like back and forth, back and forth. um the fact that we don't focus on anyone for too long, it's made super obvious to me that like, oh, we can't spend too much time. We want to give everyone time to shine. I feel like perhaps, this is me speculating, that Jackie had in mind, like, I want to be able to show off my stuntmen. And I think that was also part of the documentary I watched, short documentary I watched on this movie, is that the stuntmen were really involved in this movie. Like they want to really highlight their performances and how much effort they put into this, like Mars or Chris Lee. But like because the stuntmen had to take a little bit of a more screen time, Jackie has to take a little bit of step down from there.
Sure. Yeah.
So overall, it's like this is definitely like all long story short. What I'm trying to say is this is more stunt focused, like you said, than action than fight focused. And the fights in the movie are not. I don't remember anything. I really don't. I remember like exchanges, and then it turns into a stunt. But I don't remember like great fight moments at all. There's practically none. I don't think. Right? There's no like Jackie does some absurd move and it turns into like a big hit. There's nothing like that. It's more like like him fighting Michael Chan, Tian Wo Chu, and Wang Long Wei. Like that should be great. It's a 1 versus 3. Oh, and also I don't know if you caught him. Fan Mei Sheng is in this movie. He's the villain from Ricky O.
Oh yeah.
He's the big fat guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I don't know the name.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Like I was like, oh, I know that guy. No, like this should be great, but there, like in terms of the actual choreography, like there's nothing there. It's like the camera's actually really high up, like waist up, and it's just like hit reverse, hit back, and then yeah. I think I'm just being overall very critical at this point, but. Again, backhanded compliment. The movie is a stunt movie. So if you're into stunts, this is the movie for you, right? And in terms of quantity, there's a lot of stunts in this movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I want to go into it a little bit when we go into the Patreon section, because there were like little things I was noticing with the fight, but overall, like if I'm trying to think of fight choreography specifically, that's what we tend to focus on, fight choreography in our show. Nothing stands out to me, which is kind of unfortunate. I can see little moments, like glimmers of hope, where that would be a great that should be a great fight scene, like Jackie Chan in a giant, like what do you call it? Like
Oh, it's like a plucker, like it plucks feathers, or is that what you mean? That one?
Yeah, it's like what do you call it? The machine you put the bingo balls in and you start spinning it and they're rotating.
A raffle wheel, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
know.
essentially in like a giant it's kind of like a giant hamster wheel. An
Sure. Okay.
amazing visual. And you can see that they try to have fight choreography in there, and it's almost like they gave up because it just turns into comedy where they're just spinning around in it. So
Yeah.
again, I think there's not really too much fight choreography we can elaborate on here, but there are lots of there are lots of cool moments. There are things I do want to get specific on. So I think we could just go into the Patreon section so we can be more specific about it, because we're just doing vagaries right now, kind of just shitting over the plot. We're kind of just being ho hum when it comes to the action, but I do want to go into specifics.
Okay. All right. So this is the time, guys. If you guys are interested in hearing the full discussion with all the stunt talk, good, very little otherwise, then consider subscribing to us on Patreon, and also we are also offer membership on YouTube, so you'll also be able to catch that content there as well. Then also you'll get full access to all our quick jab episodes, which are movies that we couldn't make into like a full length recording, but we thought like we watched them, it'd be good for discussion, so we have those as well, as long as you subscribe to us. Is there anything else you want to add, Zero?
No, I think that's it. So with that said, let's go into detail about Project A2.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. We're at the point where we give our recommendations, but there's a whole wealth of audio you would be listening to here if you follow us on Patreon. There you can listen to the entire episode, including an exclusive action breakdown of the fights in the movie. And now on to our final thoughts.
That's it. That's Project A2.
Oh man, this was so difficult to get through.
Yeah.
Lots of technical issues on our ends. Oh boy, yeah, this is a this is an episode told in like multiple parts,
Multiple chunks.
Yeah,
But we made it.
we made it.
Project A2. I don't love this movie. I never love watching this. I there's moments that I like, but it's not the it's not Jackie's best. It's weird because like I feel like it's one of those movies that if you are even a fleeting Jackie Chan fan, you probably know of Project A2. You probably already watched Project A2, but it's not his best. This is it's okay. Like I wouldn't say as much as saying it's bad. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a good. It's not great. Jackie has better movies.
Yeah, he has better movies, and it's kind of a shame because well, actually, I don't really like Project A1 too much either.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think
I think that's also how hurts it.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
I mean, Project A has the superior stunt, obviously, because yeah, that clock tower scene, that's really hard to top.
Mhm.
So nice they showed it twice, times like 4.
times.
Yeah, they showed it a lot
Yeah.
of times. This one doesn't really have that moment too much, but there's lots of fun stuff in this movie. It just kind of sucks that the movie as a whole is just not good to sit through. So this is really one, like if you're gonna watch it, you just kind of put it on, like listen to the banter. Like I
Yeah.
guess you would have to turn on English to do that. Just listen to them talk, and then just watch every now and then when there's some fun action, because Jackie Chan, again, he can direct good action. Like in the 80s, he can direct good action even if it's like mediocre to us, right?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
still well directed. We're very
Yeah.
nitpicky in how we like our Jackie Chan stuff because he's done such good work.
Right.
Like if like this is still superior to like everything like 2000, like almost everything 2000s beyond. But
Yeah,
because we have
exactly.
such admiration for him, you know, like we're just being very very critical
Yeah.
of this
High
stuff.
standards for
Yeah.
him. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Does it go without saying? If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You probably will be in line with us, in alignment with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not bad, and by no means it's not bad. It's just not his best. I can't stress that enough. So yeah, that's Project A2. Man, I have no outro for this because I won't lie, this movie drains the life out of me.
You mean like how Jackie Chan got the life drained out of him in like 3 different scenes? Did you notice that? He gets choked out or almost dies 3 different times, like with a necktie, and then they throw him in the potato sack and then they throw him in the river where he should have drowned. And then when he's fighting in that like that fish stock, they
Mhm.
drown him. He kind of drowns, but then for some reason he pops back up.
For some
For
reason.
some reason,
Yeah.
maybe he just died.
Maybe he just
and the
died,
end of
yeah.
the movie is just a fever dream of him like fighting and winning, when in reality, no, he drowned with those fish.
And that's why there's no Project A3.
Yeah. He's dead. That character's dead.